All right, Joseph Brasher, top velocity Northwest. I'm doing a pitching analysis of Erik White. I got him paired up with 90 plus mile an hour testimonial Colton Turner. Let's take Erik into his leg lift. Let's take both these guys into their leg lifts. Now, I don't have a direct side view, and I prefer having a direct side view, but just judging from the angle I have, it doesn't look like there's a lot of forward momentum for Erik coming into his lift. As you can see, he's going basically straight down out of that lift. So he's going up. Whoops. He's going up, and then his hips are shifting right back down again. We want to shift a little bit of momentum inside that drive leg coming into our leg lift, and then have that hips follow a path of going forward and down at the same rate. Now here we can see you drop immediately into your load coming out of that leg lift. We want some forward momentum going towards the plate so we can get that force vector in line and get the hips going in the right direction. So the fact that you came, up, down, and out, it's like there wasn't a lot of purpose to this leg lift. You could have just started from this slide step position. If we are going to use a leg lift, we want to use it to get a little momentum inside of that drive leg to get those hips going. But if we take you into your load, I can see here you're definitely loading a lot into the knee, into the upper part of the leg here, and then you're already starting to curl into the toes. That shows me your drive leg's kind of collapsing already. We want to really be flexed on that drive leg, lowering the force vector. We do want some dorsiflexion here, but you have too much. Those knees are going too much over the toes. And that's going to cause you to collapse really early. We want to load a little more into the glute back here and in the posterior chain to help create that load. So you're really, coming up, down out of this lift, and then really loading down and hard into that knee. It's just not a good, efficient path to help get those hips going. So coming out of his lift, he's able to get that that back leg flexed and the force vector. So the force vector is the angle between your ankle to knee, and that's pointed towards the front hip here. So he's in a good position to drive. You're not in a great position to drive here with how far that knee is over your foot here. If we take you into foot strike, it looks like there's actually a little kick in this front leg, which is not what we want. We want this front leg to stay passive. Colton Turner opens this back leg, opens the front leg, drives the back leg through. It's completely open. He's got great hip to shoulder separation here. With you, as you land, you're already starting shoulder rotation. So we can see his glove side. He was closed off. He's trying to create hip to shoulder separation by closing off. You're already pulling hard with that glove side. And that, is not a problem in and of itself, but it's a symptom of a weak lower half, a lower half that's not generating a lot of energy. Because if there was a lot of energy coming out of this lower half, your upper body wouldn't feel the need to pull and create the energy that way. But because you don't feel that energy, you're pulling hard with your upper body here. So if we can learn to load better, not kick with this front leg, but drive with this back leg, we'd be able to get more energy out of that lower half and get more hip to shoulder separation. Because your hips open, I would say, right about there, and your arms in this really compromised position back here. So we don't have a lot of hip to shoulder separation. What we do have is what is called hyperangulation, where if this is your shoulder line and your arms behind it, aka arm drag, that's what's called hyperangulation, and that is highly correlated with injury. We can see your glove side is basically completely through and your arm's still back. That's not a good position to be in. If we look at Colton Turner right here, we can see both his glove side and his throwing arm here, showing me that there's no hyperangulation going on because he had enough lower half energy that his upper body didn't feel the need to start pulling and yanking. We take you through release here. I can't tell from this angle, but it looks a little bit like your elbow might be getting out in front of your face. With Colton Turner, it externally rotates right by his ear, and he releases it above his head. And that's what we want. That's a safe pronated elbow path. For you, it looks like it casts out a little bit in front of your face here. You do get a little bit of decent front leg extension. Like I said, it's tough for me to tell, and some decent forward trunk tilt, but you're so vertical here because of how you took that hip position, that path out of your lift. You can see Colton Turner has quite a low center of gravity here. You look to be up quite high. So even if you extend that front leg, your trunk is going to shoot up and not linear as much. If you look at Colton Turner as he extends his front leg here, and then if we measured his trunk out, he's at an angle of 45 degrees. I would bet, like I said, I don't have a good side view, but I bet you're more in this range here based off the angle of your front leg and how high your center of gravity is. We want to get that center of gravity lower going to pitch release. So you told me that you're in the low 80s, hit 83. So how do we get to the mid to high 80s? Well, first of all, it'd be solving how we come out of our lifts, learning how to load in the posterior chain more, so gaining strength through our strength and conditioning program through the Olympic lifting, and gaining some mobility. You could have some hip flexion issues here that are keeping you from loading properly. And then learning how to triple extend and drive out of this back leg to open up those hips so your shoulders don't have to get so overactive and they wouldn't have to yank so hard, causing you to get into this compromised arm position here. So it'd be good for your velocity and arm health. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys next time.